It's a lot easier to film the struggle once you've made it past the struggle. It's easier to film once you've made it, when you've already won, when the story is finished and you can nicely package both the story, the chapter, and the lesson. For me right now, I am filming mid-chapter. There is no husband, there is no job, there is no apartment, there is no money. I am writing the chapter as we speak. So I don't know how the story ends. I genuinely have no idea how the story ends. So for me, the idea or the question is, what happens when your life falls apart? When your identity collapses and you have to build a new one. Can I be honest for a second? I had a moment last night. Picture this. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in the living room with my mom, and I'm simply unpacking all that has happened in my life for the last couple of years. It's a lot. I'm strong. Believe me, I'm a strong person. But it's been a long couple of years. My life has really been this Lifetime movie. It's kind of been this drama book. It's been a lot. If you don't already know, I'm Michael. This is Human Being with Michael. And last May, I lost my job and got divorced on the same day. Moved out of my apartment in Ohio, moved in with my sister in Texas, sold some of my stuff, put other stuff in storage, and now at 37 years old, I am living at home with my mom, single, divorced, unemployed, no job, no husband, no money, no apartment, starting my life from scratch. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And I know there are some of you watching right now who are also in your own messy middles, whether that's divorce or unemployment, career loss, financial struggles, health struggles, drama, trauma, death, whatever it is. I know some of you watching right now are in your own messy middles. And I think it important that you just take a moment to breathe, to really understand and process and unpack all that your life is going through, because it's a lot. It's a lot. So that was the inspiration for today's video. I wanted to share with you 3 lessons that I've learned so far in what has been the most intense, challenging, difficult year of my life so far. But before we jump into the lessons, I wanted to talk to you about this framework that I had about life before May and how it's shifted after May, last May. So before last May, I kind of thought that life was a series of chapters of the same book, right? So there's one book, your life book, and then you had multiple chapters that aligned with that life book. And so each chapter had pretty much the same characters, very similar storyline, very similar locations, because it was all kind of a flowing of a story. One story, multiple chapters, same book. And what I've learned is, since now I am looking for a new job, a new location, a new apartment, eventually a new partner, essentially a new life, what I'm realizing is life could really be different chapters of different books. And so your new chapter can be completely, entirely different. One chapter, you could be living in Texas on a ranch. And the next chapter, you could be living in Hawaii on the beach. One chapter, you can be dating a black man, and the next chapter, you could be married to a white woman. One chapter, you could be working as a teacher in a high school, and the next chapter, you could be CEO of an AI company. You really could change your chapter in whatever ways you think is possible. And I didn't think I had that openness to life before. I think if you're a high school teacher, then you might grow into becoming the high school principal. I thought if you were married to a man, you'll probably stay married to a man. I thought that if you, and this goes, we'll ignore orientation and identity and all of that. But my point is simply, your chapters can be completely and entirely different based off of what you want and desire and need and all that. And I didn't really think about that before. So with this new chapter of my life, I don't know how it ends. how it will end. I haven't made it out of the messy middle yet. I'm not sitting here with my new handsome boyfriend explaining how I left my unfaithful ex. I'm not talking to you as a content creator making tens of thousands of dollars in brand deals and brand partnerships. I'm not recording from my new cute apartment in the city. I'm not sharing my life as a new executive in my new position at work. It's a lot easier to film the struggle once you've made it past the struggle. It's easier to film once you've made it, when you've already won, when the story is finished and you can nicely package both the story, the chapter, and the lesson. For me right now, I am filming mid-chapter. There is no husband, there is no job, there is no apartment, there is no money. I am writing the chapter as we speak. So I don't know how the story ends. I genuinely have no idea how the story ends. So for me, the idea or the question is, what happens when your life falls apart? When your identity collapses and you have to build a new one. I'm 37 and I'm rebuilding. I understand instability. I understand loss. I understand identity shift. And my old version no longer fits. And this new version hasn't fully arrived yet. I recognize that the old version of Michael just no longer exists. I'm no longer the version of Michael from 2024 and before that, from 2025 and before that. I'm no longer that Michael, just by virtue of my circumstances and my life over the last couple of years. And something that I've struggled with, and something that I struggled with last night, was, am I ruminating or am I recharging? Am I in need of peace and quiet, or am I isolating? Just some questions, and some questions for you too. For those of you who are also in your own messy middles and you're kind of struggling in this process and you're navigating and writing your own new chapters. Are you ruminating or are you recharging? Are you in need of peace and quiet, or are you isolating? Like I said, I'm strong. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. And in my last video, you see that I'm first. I'm first in a lot of ways, and that really built a lot of in me. It really showed me how to be resilient and resourceful. And I could handle a job loss. I could handle a divorce. I could handle a cross-country move back home with my mom. But when you compile them all at once, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so some identities that I lost in my last chapter. This first generation achiever, I was the one who made it out, who proved it could be done, who proved it could be done. And I lost my job, right? And that sparked fear and insecurity and financial struggles. I had this identity of a successful professional, right? I had traveled the world. I was in the prime of my career, and it's gone. I was a husband. I was somebody's partner. I was married to my best friend. I thought we were going to build a life together. And now I am mourning a person. I'm mourning that journey. I'm mourning that life path. I was employed. I was career driven. I was productive. And all those identities are gone. They've been stripped away. And what I'm left with is, who am I when it's just me? Because that old version needed validation, proof, and permission. This new version is slowly being ridden into quiet authority. Somebody who is grounded and confident. Somebody who is abundant and magical. So I'm trying to believe and manifest that all this last couple of years, it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me. So, for my 3 big lessons over the most difficult, intense, challenging chapter of my life so far. Lesson number 1 is community. The value of community. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for my family, my best friend, friends, co-workers, my barber, my therapist, even my subscribers, those of you who have left supportive, inspiring, reflective, thoughtful comments. You cannot do this alone. For those of you who are watching and in your own messy middles, you're struggling in your own lived experience in human lives, I want to be very clear with this. This is lesson number 1, bar none. You cannot do this alone. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for my community, who I am so incredibly grateful for. And I hope you find your community. I hope you cultivate your community. I hope you have a community. And if you don't, please join, subscribe, like, comment. This could be your community. You cannot do it alone. You need a community. You genuinely need a community. Life lesson number 2 is care. I want you to give yourself as much grace as worldly possible. I'm going to say it again slowly. Hear me. And there's a lot of wind, so I hope you can really hear me. You're going to want to rush your journey, your healing journey. You're going to want to rush the process. Stop. Don't rush. Give yourself as much grace as worldly possible. You need to feel the feelings. You need to process the pain. You need to engage with the emotions. You need to deal with your drama, whatever it is. Divorce or death or job loss or relationship issues or personal struggles or professional issues or family drama, whatever it is, whatever your messy middle, you need to feel the feelings. You need to process the pain. You need to engage with the emotions. You need to deal with the drama. So how? How do you care? Care for yourself, love yourself, support yourself, be gentle with yourself, give yourself the space, time, quiet, peace, security, all the things that you need to nourish your spirit, your mind, your body, and your soul. So what did I do to deal with and support and care and love myself? I went to float tanks and I did salt therapy, sound bathing, and acupuncture. I did facials and I upped my skincare routine. I went on outdoor walks, red light sauna therapy. My sister bought me a massage gun, and now I am actively reminding myself that I've been through some massive trauma in a limited time frame. And it's okay to not be okay. To just breathe and just to be human. So you're going to want to rush your healing journey, the process. Stop. Don't rush. And lesson number 3, this is just one chapter in your book of life. This moment that you're in, it might feel like a long one. Believe me, I get it. It might feel like a long chapter. It might feel like a tough chapter, or it's a hard chapter. And it might just be the most challenging and difficult and intense chapter of your life so far. But it's just one chapter. And the pages will turn, and it will soon pass. Remind yourself of this fact. It's just one chapter. This isn't your book. I will be employed again in a position that aligns with my passions and my purpose and that provides. I will be living in my own space at some point, and I'll invite my mom to come and visit. I will find love again, deeply, wholeheartedly, a love that I deserve. I will turn the page on this chapter, and so will you. Say it with me. I will turn the page on this chapter. You will. Because this moment is temporary. So for those of you who are navigating life challenges, this moment is temporary. And for those of you who are navigating life successes, this moment is temporary. Life's messy. Subscribe and keep being human.